hello. Sometimes I think of Honda as a mad artist living in a Parisian apartment. You never know if it's going to churn out a work of true genius like the Civic Type R or something a bit lazy, a bit late, and a bit meh. But something like this, that is perhaps all of those things, can be a real second-hand bargain, and we're going to find out if this is one of those. This is the Honda E:NY1. I'm going to call it the NY1 because that makes more sense. And it's a small electric SUV that originally cost from 41 grand. But this one's a year old and has 19,000 miles on the clock, and it's now £20,499. Yep, it's lost £20,000 in a year. I wonder why. Well, it's not exactly over-endowed with driving range. It's got a small 62 kilowatt hour usable battery, which on paper is good for only 256 miles of driving. And it can't fast charge very fast either. It only goes up to 78 kilowatts, meaning to get from 10 to 80% takes a colossal 45 minutes. That's a quarter of an hour longer than most of its modern rivals. I also think it looks quite anonymous and smoothed over, but at least you get full LED headlights on all models, and behind this flap is the charging port at the front there. I just think it's very bold of Honda, a car company who famously has a really high average age of their owners, to release a car in what I can only describe as blue rinse. Perhaps one of the biggest problems the Honda NY1 faces is the fact it's 4.4 meters long. Why is that a problem? Well, it puts it in direct competition with newer cars that can go further for less money new, like the Kia EV3 and like the Skoda Elroq. This is light though. It's just over 1.7 tons, which isn't bad for an electric car, so hopefully it rides well and all of that good stuff. It's got a slight boxy coupe-ishness to it, but we'll find out in a minute if I fit in the back seats. And the rear door handles are neatly hidden there, like on some other Honda models. I'm going to say the HR-V. I think it's the HR-V. Couple of whinges about the Honda NY1's interior, and that is the fact that it's darker than the inside of a goth's handbag in here. It's really, really dark despite the light-coloured headlining, but it's all right. It's dominated by this 15-inch infotainment system, which is portrait-oriented, and it's split into three. So you can have your wireless Apple CarPlay at the top, you've got some shortcuts in the middle, and you've got your aircon controls permanently available at the bottom. So you can always change the temperature through the touchscreen, no matter what you're doing. I actually quite like that. You've also got heated seats as standard in this entry-level elegance model. You can get a heated wheel on top-spec advanced models, and everything's leathery and lovely, and I like the two-tone blue and white stitching here. The seats are very comfortable. Two big cup holders, a wireless charger, a 12-volt socket, storage under there, big door bins. Really quite like it in here, apart from the fact that I'm 6'3" and my driver's seat, which is electrically adjustable, is as low as it will go, and my view is kind of slightly of the roof. Doesn't go low enough. And another thing, 19,000 miles this one's had, and the steering wheel is very shiny already, so I'm not sure how that will stand up to prolonged use, but I like the piping on the seats. It's all very nice. Backseat space in the Honda E:NY1 is actually really good, considering I'm 6'3" and that's my driving position. I've got loads of knee room and also just about enough headroom in the back. Footroom, not great. I can't really get my trotters under there, but you've got a flat floor, a usable middle seat, two USB-Cs, some storage. The downsides though are all centered around the doors. You don't have any door bins down low, and you've got one little bit here which has got a little inscription on it saying, "Don't put cocktails in it." I think it means don't put drinks in it. So yeah, because I think if you put coffee in that, it will spill out because it's not very deep. Also, windows, very small. So kids are probably going to feel car sick in the back of one of these. And look, they don't go down very much either. It's like my hand's width. But yeah, it's a mixed bag. I like the center armrest, nice and comfortable. Yeah, it's more spacious than you would think given the size of the car. I actually quite like how futuristic this looks from behind with this modern Honda script there and this light bar, which I actually quite like on this, to be fair. You get the E:NY1 badge there, so you get to explain the name of your car every time someone asks about it. Boot space, it's not great, to be honest. 366 litres in this entry-level model. If you get the top-spec advanced model, it shrinks slightly. But it's got a nice flat load lip there, and it's boxy. It's more than big enough for doing a massive old shop. You've got a tiny bit of space under there for tyre gunk and the like. It's okay. It's got some hooks. The only thing is, the Kia EV3 has got a boot that's getting on for 100 litres. bigger. You do get a reversing camera on all of them, as well as front and rear parking sensors, which is quite handy, and a rear wiper, which I have to point out because lots of manufacturers are getting rid of those and just letting physics magically clear your back windscreen. Does it ever work? No. Stop it. Give us these. We're going to go for a drive in the Honda E:NY1. You need a finger to press the D button down here, to press the D, and then off you go. And yeah, in terms of visibility, just very quickly, out the back it's a bit pants because it's got really thick pillars at the back corners, but the mirrors are almost comically large, so it's a bit of a mixed bag in that regard. Steering is nice and light, it's very typical EV, it's just very friendly to drive. Except it does have one comical trait, which I didn't expect. It's got about 204 horsepower going to the front wheels, and when you boot it, it wheel spins at low speeds, which you might expect, but then if you boot it at 30 miles an hour, it wheel spins at 40 miles an hour, and then sometimes again at 50 miles an hour. It feels like an old hot hatch spinning up its tyres, which is very childish, not good for your tyre degradation, but it's quite charming in its own special way. Now, it's about as fast as a Kia EV3. It's 7.7 seconds, almost, got my words out, to 62 miles an hour. But actually, it feels perfectly punchy when you're driving it, and the brake pedal's nice and calibrated so you don't go through the windscreen when the motors regenerate, and you've got big, satisfying plastic paddles behind the steering wheel that you can use to adjust how much regen you get when you lift off the accelerator. And then you floor it again and you get comical wheel spin. But yeah, it corners nice and flat. It's got a nice comfortable ride because it doesn't weigh 1,000 tons. It's nice and refined as well at motorway speeds. It's actually been a real surprising pleasure to drive. I really quite like it. The only thing is, as I've said, it feels like my eyes are up in the roof rather than looking through the windscreen like they should be. And I found it really hard to work out how to turn off the speed limit warning bomb. But then you can get around that by just not speeding. It's just a very, very pleasant thing. It's not especially exciting apart from the wheel spin, but it's a small family EV. Now, in terms of efficiency, I've been averaging about 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour without trying, and that's while doing wheel spin and stuff. So actually, I think you will get close to 250 miles in the real world out of this, which ain't bad. One quick thing before we get back to a conclusion. Horn test. It's a Japanese car, normally has a rubbish horn. Ooh, that's quite deep and sophisticated. I once drove a Honda Civic Type R, used the horn, and it sounded like I was in Noddy's car. And everyone looked at me, and I've got this massive aero package and wing on the back, and I'm like, beep, beep. Anyway, conclusion time. As a brand new car for £41,000, there's no way I can really recommend the Honda anyone because it doesn't go far enough or feel posh enough inside for the money. However, at a year old, half price, I actually think this is a bit of a used car bargain. 20 grand for an up-to-date modern electric car with kind of all the mod cons, to be honest. Just be aware that it can't charge as fast as its rivals, but if you can charge at home and use it mostly as a runabout for the occasional longer journey, it will serve you very well. And it's a Honda as well, so it will go on forever. So yes, as a new car, no, not on your Nelly. As a used car, yeah, why not? Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe to the Motorpoint YouTube channel, and go down to the comments and tell me what other cars have lost half their value in 1 year. Bit of research for you there. I'm about to get hit by an acorn.